To understand Islam and the Muslim world more, read my book The Curse of God, Why I Left Islam. Available in all your favorite online bookstores.
The Islamophobia part was so bad and cringeworthy. Even you mentioned that back in the 80s he was living his maximum Western lifestyle and banging women every left, right, and center, whatever.
They're just friends.
Anyway, so but he did say that when Salman Rushdie's book came out, he was like, "What the hell is this guy doing?" So even at that time, these guys, this is why I have a problem with these so-called carefree Muslims. When they do become hardcore Muslims later on in their life, they say, I was an atheist once. No, these fuckers were never atheists. They were just carefree Muslims. They were more like hypocrite Muslims who just turned it back and they said, well, yeah, whatever. I've heard people who do all kind of dirty things and they say, well, you know what, I'll just go to Hajj and I'll get all my sins. I'll get cleansed. So people do that all the time, and so these guys were never actually atheists, because if they actually were atheists, then it's very hard to born again whatever religion you were a part
because you
of.
were never there in the first place. Exactly.
Yeah. So usually when they tell us that you were never a Muslim, I think in their case it's actually true. It's more true that they were never atheists. See, Islamophobia. This is why it's such a terrible argument, and I've been meaning to make a video on Islamophobia in Urdu as well, that how bad it is. I mean, every person I've spoken to, even in my family, all of you guys would know how hard it is to convince your family members. You can convince strangers of your point of view, but you can never convince your family members, because they never, they never think that you know anything. They always.
It's just Haris. He's just rambling.
So, but even in my family, like I've managed to convince people that this Islamophobia term is absolute bullshit. You want to use the term Islamophobia, anti-Muslim bigotry or not, use that, because. And that's exactly what Imran Khan alluded to as well. This is why it was such a bad speech, because when he used the term Islamophobia, he then went on to say, you guys make shit about, write shit or draw cartoons about Muhammad, and, we feel so bad. The pain of heart is worse than the pain of body and all that bullshit. So he was basically saying, don't criticize Islam.
Yeah.
So fuck off. That narrative is so old, it's just not going to work, and no one is going to buy it. So he can create 10 new propaganda Islamist channels all he wants. It's just going to become a bigger butt of jokes for the rest of the world. Now, on the same note, so all the my page, a page that I founded, Ex-Muslim Atheist. Now we have 2 ex-Muslims running that page, and 2 ex-Hindus running the page, and 1 ex-Christian running the page. All ex-Muslims and ex-Hindus are from one is in Indonesia, 1 ex-Muslim is in India. The other 2 ex-Hindus are from India, and ex-Christian is from America. I don't run that page, but we have a policy that blasphemy, we should be allowed to do blasphemy. Now, I personally have never. I don't actually put the cartoons of Muhammad with a boner and with a little girl around him. I personally don't do it, and it's just not my thing. But we know that blasphemy has its place.
Yeah.
Now, so one of our ex-Hindus actually posted a meme where I think it was a Durga Ma. Is that a Durga Ma? Is that the god? Because someone else said something else as well, like a J. God. Whatever. So it was a Durga Ma, and like, I don't know if you want to share that meme or not, but it was pretty funny.
Go on. Right.
Okay. So she had multiple hands, like that Durga Ma had multiple hands. And there were multiple black men standing behind it. Said if she could give a job to everyone. Obviously, what kind of job that
I don't know if it's racist or Hindu. I don't know what level of bigotry.
Or it could be misogynist.
It's trying to check all the boxes.
Yeah. So
exactly. But it's actually it's unrealistic, because Indians will never get with black guys.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Where did that come from? Who told you that? Where did that come from? Well, that's actually a thing, though.
Punjabi, yeah. It's not the fact that he got multiple hands. The fact that, bruv, it's not one of our. He's not from our tribe.
Apna ladka nahi hai na.
Apna ladka nahi hai. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah,
that was the offensive part.
Yeah.
If they were Indian guys, then it's okay. Yeah.
No, not even then. Not even then. I'll tell you, even this whole view that we have of these Indian Pakistan view towards sex, when it, like as you said, like Imran Khan does it, everyone's like, oh, look at this, our guy is just fucking everyone.
Oh shit.
But if it was a woman, then yeah, she would be a slut. The same thing. If there were Indian men instead of the 4 black guys, and there was if there was Medusa from Greek mythology, then they all would be like, yeah, it's amazing, great, yeah, fuck her, all that kind of shit. So it's because our woman kind of a mentality. But anyway, so just forget about that. So one of our ex-Hindu actually posted that. Now, as I said, I personally I don't do it. I do criticize with words with Islam. 90% of my time is spent on criticizing Islam. So one of my ex-Hindu posted that meme. It went viral. We had like 700 shares or something, and I don't know, 2,000 angry reactions, 4,000 likes all up, or something like that. It went absolutely crazy, and I got plenty of death threats from Hindu jihadis wanting to behead me and rape me, rape my wife, or kill my mother and all that. So we actually kind of. So I shared that. So we actually kind of succeeded in making a bigger point. The point is when their religions are targeted, their emotional connection, that's what it is. It's their emotional connection with the mythology. That's what triggers a response. I clearly told you, like if that was Medusa from Greek mythology, no one would have cared. They would have given all the laugh reactions. Kushal, I spoke with Kushal yesterday briefly, and I think you would say the same thing, that you do. And what's the difference? But my question to those angry Hindus is, what's the difference between you and Imran Khan's narrative that don't criticize our religion? Because, then we react. Imran Khan said that, Salman Rushdie wrote a book, then Muslims react. And then people say, look how bad Muslims are, look how violent Muslims are. You're doing exactly the same thing. So what is the difference between you and their narrative? So you otherwise you can take a philosophical position like Kushal or Sham, that I don't do it personally myself, but I do support the right to blaspheme. And that's what my position is as well. As I said, I personally don't do all of that. So Hindu jihad is an oxymoron. No, it's not. If you're going to threaten people that I'm going to behead you because you attacked my religion, you are exactly a Hindu jihadi.
I think we should try not to make excuses about offering death threats to someone for putting a post that you found offensive. I think that's the very definition of you're just being a cunt on social media. So I wouldn't make any excuses about that. I think as far as that point goes, again, my opinion's the same. That stuff's not for me. That's not something that I would post. Like I get plenty of every time I post some kind of comment, I get plenty of, on my YouTube videos, I get plenty of comments about how Prophet Muhammad whatever is a pedophile, and this is what the Muslim people do in their spare time with their women and all of that stuff. If I can also choose to retweet it or pin it to my media profile, that's not my style. But again, if somebody wants to say that on social media, go ahead, man. I just think that if you find something offensive, so offensive that you feel like you need to hit somebody, I would just say, don't react. Just move on with your day. Later, you'll forget about it.
Even hitting is understandable, but actually giving...
Yeah, like murdering someone. What are you doing, man? What are you doing with your life?
This guy wrote a poem, and then he was trying to find how he's going to behead me, how he's going to rape my women, as though I own them. So the difference is no Hindu did a Charlie Hebdo while Muslims have done plenty. But brother Uday, if I keep showing these kind of posts, if I keep doing this, then you're going to have quite a few Hindus doing that kind of thing too. So
I would disagree with that, because I think in India we see examples like that quite often, where you don't see any Hindu blasphemy related crimes. You don't see anywhere near the kind of Hindu blasphemy related crimes as you see in Islamic countries.
I of course I agree with you. So I would tell you that yes, there should be no comparison between the how Muslims view the blasphemy. We are trying to change the attitude of Muslims in that, but hang on, I think that's where I think a lot of Hindus need to take charge as well, and they need to attack these kind of people who actually do so. Imagine for that moment, that guy Anjani Singh, whatever that fat kid's name was. He had there was this kid on, like, the guy who wrote a poem on how he's going to behead me in the middle of the street. But just imagine if I actually did turn up right in front of him, and he was with his 10 friends. What would he have done? I could easily be the first victim of Hindu blasphemy. Don't you think that could have happened because it was highly charged up or not? Whether someone is going to whether someone is going to plan that. Well, I shared a screenshot on my tweet where this guy said, like, I have contacted some dangerous people in Melbourne and they're going to come and hunt him down. I said, well, bring it down. Like, I mean, and this is a compliment to Hindus.
घबराओ नहीं यार, हम लोग flight लगे आएंगे, इसके बात है.
That doesn't matter. But I say, you know what? And this is a compliment to Hindus, that, guys, like, if we are taking on the ISIS and some of the most abhorrent people on earth, you guys are nothing. So your threat for that shit is not going to work. So fuck off.
To help me keep producing videos like these, support me on Patreon or PayPal.